Okay, everyone take a seat. Take a comfortable seat, and we'll get started in this gentle yoga practice for all levels. The name of this class is Kindness Yoga. Okay, so you all know the rules. You can't be kind to anyone else more than you are kind to yourself. It's just a universal truth. I read a quote recently that said, "We are made kind by being kind." So this practice this morning will start with just kindness to ourselves. And let's just begin right here with just hands on our heart, just this gesture of tenderness and kindness to our own self, to our own heart. If you'd like, you can close your eyes and just start to notice yourself landing here on your seat, breathing this breath, aware of your skin and the gentle pressure of air around your skin. And the movement of breath pushing your skin outward and inward. And in these first few moments of practice, let's just all set an intention or even make a commitment, a solemn vow to allow this to be a practice of kindness to ourselves. To set aside the doing, the forcing, the accomplishing, and enter into an hour of receiving, nurturing, caressing even ourselves, this body that we live in. So just notice this tender gesture. Take one of your hands and just cup one side of your face the way you would just softly touch the face of a loved one. Maybe there's a message here for yourself as you start. A message of compassion, kindness, of understanding the struggle, the challenges, and the celebrations that this being is currently experiencing. Take all of your fingers and just gently bring them to the brow, the center of your forehead. And then just so softly trace the outline of your brow down to your temples and make a couple of circles there. And do that again, just this tender massage of the forehead, this place where we hold a lot of tension, and circles around your temples. We'll do that one more time, just this soft caress, easing the lines of the brow, softening the tension around our temples. It's a really great practice if you tend to get headaches here in the front of your head. And then come to the middle of your eyebrows and actually pinch your eyebrows and just pinch them out wide to the edges. And notice that that too is a place where there's tension. You can come back in and just gently pinch out. This might feel nice to your eyelids and the spaces behind your eyes. And then bring your hands to this, your fingers to this little place where the jaw connects up behind the earlobes. Put a little bit of pressure right there and then just open and close your jaw. Just feel that release right there. You can put quite a bit of pressure there. That's a really strong muscle. If you tend to be a teeth grinder, this is a great reset release point. And then pinch your jaw around to your chin and back up. And then pinch your earlobes. I'm not going to do this because I have these ear things in here, but just pinch your earlobes and give gentle little tugs. There are so many pressure points, marmot points on your ears that can help you relieve tension in your head. And then you might just pinch all the way up around the tops of your ears. And pinch kind of hard. Let that be a little bit of a maybe uncomfortable, and just notice that feels really good when you let go. Good. And then hands to opposite shoulders, just squeeze and massage the shoulders. Again, a gesture of care, of kindness, nurturing to yourself. So now that your body probably agrees that you're here to be kind, let's begin our asana practice by coming into child's pose. For today's practice, we will be on our knees a lot. So if you want to gather another mat or a folded up towel for underneath your knees, that might feel better to you. Maybe just shift to a softer surface. It might feel good to shift your body forward and shift your body back. And for today, if you're enjoying this more gentle look at yoga, stay in child's pose a little longer. If you feel like your body could use a stretch, tuck your toes, lift up into downward facing dog. Broaden the back behind your shoulder blades. Pull your chest, your armpits in toward the front, and just pedal your heels. Settle in here with a back body stretch. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. And then lower once again to your knees, this time knees closer together. Shift your body forward and just slowly melt to the earth. Roll shoulders onto the back. Inhale to a gentle cobra. Lower back down. Press to child's pose. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Again, a choice of downward facing dog. And we'll do that gentle vinyasa again. Come forward. You can be on your knees or your toes, lower halfway, and then come to either cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Let's take a slow walk to the top of our mat. Lifting halfway, and then rise all the way up, extended mountain. Hands come to heart center. Today we'll just do one full sun salutation, and it will be a gentle variation just to warm us up a bit more. So let's reach high. Swan dive, forward fold. Take your time. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Drop the knees, stretch back even farther, child's pose. On an inhale, floating forward, melting to the earth. Shoulders roll onto the back, lift to baby cobra, maybe a little higher if your back feels good. Exhale, pressing back into child's pose. Deep breath in, long breath out. Coming again to downward facing dog. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Maybe still pedaling the heels, maybe holding still. And stepping forward. Hands to shins, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Reaching high, extended mountain. And hands to heart. Pause for a moment. Kindness. Let's go ahead and hinge forward from the hips. Stepping back with our left foot and dropping the left knee to the ground. Just take a moment here to feel this easy stretch in the hip flexor. Tucking those toes, switch feet. Right foot comes back, dropping the knee to the ground, an easy stretch. Waking up the hip flexors. Just maybe keeping that padding across the middle of your mat. Let's bring both knees to the mat. And we're gonna come into a kneeling side plank. So we'll kick the right foot behind us and we'll extend the left leg out. And the left arm comes up. In this position, press into the earth, lift up through the obliques underneath you. Let's take that left arm up over the ear and just find some space here through the left side of the rib cage. Breathe in, breathe out. Allowing that arm to come all the way down, hand to the hip, press yourself up and come onto both of your knees for a gentle camel. So hands to the hips, shoulders back. Deep breath in. Long exhale. And then allow the left hand to come to the floor, the right leg to extend, kneeling side plank on the other side. And let your arm come way up over your ear, side body stretch. And then the arm that's overhead, let it come to the ground. So you'll probably now be facing the back of your mat. Find yourself into a tabletop. And then we'll take spinal balance, left arm reaching forward, right leg reaching back. Finding the strength of the core. And you can stay right here or lift a little if you like, fingertips and toes lifting. One more option is to bind the pose, reach the hand to the foot and find a nice stretch in the front of the body. Breathe in, breathe out. Let's extend that out again, spinal balance, and switch sides. Right arm forward, left leg back. Staying right here or lifting into sunbird. And an option to bind the pose if you like. Remember, that's the first place maybe where you'll be tempted to force, to achieve. Let this be an act of kindness. If the fingers don't quite reach there, is that okay? Is that a better option for this moment? And then out again, and returning to the earth. Let's go ahead and lift into downward facing dog, paddling the heels. Deep breath in, audible exhale. And And right where you are, drop your knees to the mat. Once again, child's pose. Extend the arms farther this time. Let's find some stretch in the shoulders, the chest, the upper back. Exaggerate breath into the back of your body. And then we'll start to draw the arms down to our sides so the forehead can touch the floor more easily. Let your arms rest by your sides. Some call this embryo pose. Your knees can be wide, your belly between your legs, or you can have your knees together, but take another breath here. Just feel this gentle pose, restorative and helpful. And then our hands come to our shoulders. Let's lift again into downward facing dog. Movements here, just a love letter to our body. Each movement, each breath, a line of this letter. Let's bring our feet to our hands, and we'll meet here in a forward fold. You can choose ragdoll. Maybe there's another forward fold that you love. Each breath, a word on the page, a love letter to myself. Let's press hands to shins, lift and lengthen through the whole spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Reach high, extended mountain. And bring your hands to your heart. Gentle movement with breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're just going to do those two movements a few times. I'd like you to just feel the energy around you, the air on your skin, the movement of your breath, an action of tenderness, of kindness to yourself. Find your Ujjayi breath. You'll take one more nice deep breath in. Hands come to heart center. Always a gesture of gratitude. Reach up high. Dive low. Pause here at the bottom. Put a nice big bend in your knees and let your elbows come to your thighs. Just find this little resting place. Kind of a flat back, kind of a forward fold. And we're gonna just see what the back of the legs want. So bend and straighten the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, until you find the perfect place between really bent and really straight. Find your perfect place and then wrap your arms behind you. Give your legs a massive hug. Give yourself a massive hug. Maybe shift a little bit into the right foot and shift a little bit into the left foot. And releasing, come to half lift, reach all the way up, extended mountain, cactus the arms in a back bend. Reach high and bring your hands to your heart. So beautiful, everybody. Arms lift. Swan dive, forward fold. Reach up one more time, this acceptance, this embrace, forward fold. Take a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And then bending the elbows, let's just pull ourselves down again, a nice deep stretch. Find the perfect bend in your knees that does not feel like forcing. It feels like a gift. Release your hands into a forward fold and then step back again, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, long sigh out. Go ahead and lower to your knees. I'm going to come into that side position again. So the right foot kicks off, the left leg extends. And now we'll bring ourselves up and over into gate pose. Nice side body opening. Beautiful. Let's take some movement with breath here, up and over. How big of a rainbow can you create with both of your hands? Moving with your breath. A love letter to yourself. Come up and over and release the hand to the earth. Simply switch sides. Let the left foot go off the mat, the right leg extend, and just begin your flow here, side to side. Notice any tendency to force, push. Back away from that just a little. Find love, kindness, ease here. And as we come up and over, both hands to the earth, all fours. Take a round of cat and cow. See what's present in your spine now that we've been moving for a bit. When you're ready, tuck your toes, lift again into downward facing dog. We're gonna move into a little deeper hip opening. So let's start by taking our right foot to the top of our mat. Come down into a low lunge. A little bigger than what we had here before when the knee was down. Shifting into wide straddle. Let the head come down. Find easy movement with your legs. Maybe stillness. Let yourself sigh. Let your muscles release. Let's turn toward our left foot, low lunge, toward the back side of the mat. Really checking in with the front of the hips. Deep breath. Find that center. Kindness. And then back to center, wide straddle. Once again, I invite you to take your peace fingers around your big toes. Lift and lengthen through the crown. And then as the elbows bend, we pull our head down toward the earth. Sigh. Exhale. Less force. More allowing. More opening, more ease. What are you noticing right now as you pay attention to your body? The outside of your body, the inside of your body. What moves? What doesn't? Let's lift halfway and return to the front of our mat, coming into downward facing dog. A little bit of movement here. Shift forward into plank and back into dog. Let your body move slowly. You might even round your body forward. Undulation of the spine. And from downward facing dog, we're going to move into pigeon. So if you like using props, grab a block, a blanket, a bolster. We'll lift our right leg up in the air, circle your ankle, bend your knee, and open this hip. Deep breaths, open spaces. And then let's shift forward. The right knee comes just behind the right wrist. We'll drop our back knee to the mat. And from here, it's a journey of honoring your right knee. Right knee is the boss. So maybe that looks like staying upright. Maybe it looks like putting something under the right hip so there's less stress on the knee. Maybe lowering down feels good to you. If none of those work, the best alternative that you can always go to is come to a seat and find a figure 4, and then there's a lot less pressure on that front knee. So find your pigeon. Inside this pigeon, find your breath. Inside this breath, find a layer of kindness and compassion. Inside of this compassion, find self-love. What's happening on the outside of your body? What's happening on the inside of your body? What is here to be witnessed? Let's bring the hands to the mat and gently lift the spine. Feel for a moment the stretch in the front of that back leg again. Remove any props that you've pulled in. Tuck the back toes and let's shake the right leg out. Get some blood flow back into the knee, the ankle, the hip. And then we'll switch sides. So raising the left leg high, circle your ankle, bend the knee, open up your hip. And then we'll guide the left knee to the left wrist. Same rules apply. The left knee is now the boss. If there's any sharp pain, that's never gonna go well in the long run. So props, the level of your torso, and if that doesn't work, you're just gonna lay down on your back or sit and find a figure 4. Inside of this pose, pigeon, is a breath. And inside that breath is compassion and kindness. Inside of that compassion and kindness of just one breath is self-love. Meet yourself there. Deeper breaths. This love letter to yourself. Let's come back to an upright spine if you haven't stayed there, and just take a moment to feel a stretch in the hip flexor of your back leg. Breathe in, and breathe out. Let's shake that leg out one more time in downward facing dog. If you are a vinyasa person, it'll be your last chance to take a vinyasa. We'll be seated for the rest of the time. So when you're ready, let's come to our knees and we'll bring ourselves around into a butterfly position, Baddha Konasana. Put a blanket, a block, something under your hips if that feels better to you. For many bodies, it does. It feels good to elevate the hips a little in these seated postures. So here in Baddha Konasana, I'd like you to hold on to your ankles or the shin bones, and we're just gonna flap our wings a little bit. Just a little bit of movement of the femur bone in the hip socket, almost like a massage in the hip. Shaking things up there, the pelvis, the upper leg, and the low back. And then let that bouncing stop. Stick your fingers underneath either your ankles or your shin bones, and then let that anchor hold your hands as you sit as tall as you possibly can. Let there be a little bit of traction in the spine as you lift up through your chin, your chest, the crown of your head. Deeper breaths. And then release that bind, come a little higher on the legs so that your elbows can start to press down on your inner knees. Chest forward, and you can stay with the straight back or you can round over your legs. Music, because we're going to go deep into our hips here. So we're going to start with cradle the baby. Let's begin with our right leg. And for cradle the baby, you can keep your bottom leg straight or bent, kind of find a place where you feel stable. Hold the knee and the heel in your hands. Great place to stay. You can move around quite a bit right there. If you'd like something a little deeper, you can use your elbows. So maybe hugging that leg in. I really love to just roll out the hip. So try maybe rolling out that right hip as if you were getting a massage with a tennis ball. Just a nice little massagey thing. And we're going to take this into double pigeon, which is also called fire log pose. So the first option for this is to just rest your flexed foot on above the knee of your straight leg. If you'd like to do this double pigeon, you're going to bend both knees, and you're kind of going for this idea like fire logs, shins stacked over each other. Ankle over knee, knee over ankle. Now, if your body kind of looks or feels like mine and there's this big gap, you can put a block here. Give yourself something to rest on. You want to keep your feet flexed. And we're just going to bring our hands to that knee and put the gentlest pressure, gentlest weight on that top knee. Yes, it is uncomfortable. If you have super loosey-goosey hips and you want a little more sensation, take your feet wider out that way. And if your hips are super tight, you can come in a bit. So find the adjustments, and we're going to be here for 5 full, super slow breaths, about a minute. On the inhale, the spine gets tall. On the exhale, just let gravity do the work here. Breathe as slow and deep as you can. Remember, we're not trying to force. This is uncomfortable, and sometimes the work of self-love is a little bit uncomfortable. It's finding the places inside of us that are tight, restricted, or closed off, and gently prying them open. When you come to the end of your fifth breath, hold on to this leg, extend the left leg and just cross that leg over, and we'll finish this sequence on this side with the twist. So gently using the hand or maybe the elbow, lengthen through the spine and look backwards. Breathe deeply, feel deeply, be kind. Ease your way back out. Stretch both legs in front of you and we will switch. Cradle the baby on the left side. So again, the option is to just have that bottom leg wherever it feels best to you. You can bend it or straighten it. Hands or elbows. And if you enjoy that little massage on the other side, give yourself that here. Slow breaths, lots of noticing. Move in a way that makes your body say, oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. You're slowed down enough to pay attention to me. When you feel like that leg has loosened up a little bit, let's take this fire log pose. So again, it could be one leg or both, which is a little more intense. Okay, a lot more intense. Props are helpful. I always find that I need to prop at first. My hips are hesitant, but after a few breaths, I can remove that and my hips start to relax. So reminder, feet wider makes it a little more sensational. Feet in more makes it a little easier. So find your fire log pose. Hands on top of the knee, deep breath in. Long exhale, and we're here for about a minute. 5 very slow breaths. Inside of this pose is a breath. And inside of this breath is compassion and kindness. And inside of that kindness is self-love. Meet yourself there. It's uncomfortable. It might even be uncomfortable to think of this concept of self-love. Because I know me better than anybody knows me. I know the parts that are unlovable. Meet yourself here in this place of compassion, of forgiveness even, self-love. Go ahead and twist. So slowly move out of the pose, extending that bottom leg and just taking the most gentle transition into a twist. Less forcing, more allowing. Deepen the breath, move the belly. And keeping this left leg bent. Turn to the side. Let's bend the bottom leg. So coming into this figure 4, hands behind us, and we'll just lift up right here. Just lift up like a release. You can look up, you can look back. You'll feel something stretching in your shoulders and your chest. And then exhale to switch sides. Cross over. Lift up. Look up or back. Take deep breaths. Filling up your collarbones, your sternum, your chest, your shoulders. Go ahead and have a seat. Uncross that leg. Take a hold of the backs of the knees. Lean back into boat pose. The knees can stay bent, hands on or off the legs. Less struggle, more just being here. Inside of this pose is a breath. And inside of that breath is compassion and kindness, this desire to be strong, and this acknowledgement that you already are. One more deep breath here. On the exhale, lower the feet, fingertips behind again, lift into reverse tabletop. Both hips lift, both shoulder blades squeeze together. Release. Extend the legs out in front of you. Take the arms up overhead and take a nice forward fold. You can use your strap, bend your knees. Take a forward fold that feels kind and helpful and sweet. Relax again all of the muscles in your face. Remember that little massage we gave ourselves. Go back to how that felt. Rising again, point your toes. So you're stretching the tops of your feet. Purvottanasana. This is the last thing I'll ask you to do that requires effort. Lift your hips, stretch the front of your body. Use the strength behind you. Take a fiery breath in and a ha exhale again. Last time. Lower your hips. Lower yourself down onto your back and bring the soles of your feet together. One hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Supta Baddha Konasana. Connecting here with yourself, back home. What do you notice on the outside of your skin? What do you notice on the inside of your skin? And switch hands, opposite hand on the belly and heart. And breathe a little deeper. Let's finish this practice with a spinal twist. So draw the knees in together, and then you can choose your twist, whether that's a one-legged or knees stacked or knees crossed. We'll take the arms out in a T, shift the hips to the right, and drop one or both of your knees to the left side. Cross, you can extend one. Lots of ways to twist. Just keep your spine in this straight line. And then turn your head to the right, looking over your right hand, or close your eyes. Let your breathing slow down. Let your body receive the benefits of this posture. We'll switch sides when you're ready. Just shift your hips left, drop your knees right. Take your time adjusting your twist, and then the head just turns to the left. Nothing to force or push or achieve. Just be here with this breath, this kindness. When you are complete with this twist, start to find your way back to center and into Shavasana, using any of your props, a blanket maybe to cover you up, something over your eyes. Give yourself a few moments here lying on your back to just complete this practice. Take your time coming out of this resting posture and back to a resting seat. As you come back to your seat, you might just stretch your limbs a little bit and yawn and roll your shoulders. I'm going to leave us today with a prayer by Don Miguel Ruiz from the Four Agreements. And know that if the word prayer is a tricky word for you, use the word request. He uses the word creator. If you have a word for that you prefer, slide that in. Take your hands into any position that feels like gratitude or prayer to you. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you come to us and share a strong communion of love. We know that your real name is love, that to have communion with you means to share the same vibration and frequency that you are. So help us to love everything you have created unconditionally, especially other human beings, those around us, our relatives, and the people we try so hard to love. Because we know when we reject them, we reject ourselves. And when we reject ourselves, we reject you. Help us to love each other just the way we are, with no conditions. Clear our hearts of any emotional poison that we have and free our minds from judgment so we can lie in complete peace and complete love. Today is a special day. Today we open our hearts to love again so that we can tell each other, I love you, and really mean it. Today we offer ourselves to you. Come to us, use our voices, use our eyes, our hands, and our hearts to share love with everyone we meet. Thank you for everything we receive, and especially for the freedom to be kind, to share love. Thank you all for taking time today to be kind to yourself. And now your cup is full, so you can go pour that kindness out on all the other people you meet today. Namaste.